Sunflowers. We have Ronnie LaCrue and Jay Teller and Phoebe Newman who are going to speak.
So this is not going to be deeply philosophical. Instead, it's poetry and taps more into the imagination. But it's definitely going to be thematically appropriate. The first poem I'm going to recite is called The Two Flowers Poem by Jim Uriman. This is a contemporary poem. Can two flowers fall in love, you ask, when a heart they haven't got? But in love, if anything is possible, I have to ask why not? Two flowers on opposite sides of a road, only a short distance away, a red rose and a white and yellow daisy, fell in love one day. But they were separated by the road where trucks drive by and cars, destined never to be together, to love another from afar. They both knew they were different, not birds of the same feather, but that didn't stop them from dreaming how they might be together. One day, a little girl and her mom came walking. The sun was shining, the sky was blue. These flowers are so beautiful, the little girl said. Mommy, may I pick a few? These flowers are meant for everyone, Mom said, not just for me and you. But since summer's almost over, go ahead, you may pick two. All the flowers stood up proud and tall, for flowers understand the best place to end the summer is in a young girl's hand. I picked this one, the little girl said, and she brought the daisy to her nose, then crossing to the other side, leaned down and picked the rose. Can two flowers fall in love, you ask, when a heart they haven't got? As they cuddled together in that little girl's hands, I have to ask, why not? So that's about the power of the imagination, I believe. The next poem's a little bit different, but it's also contemporary. It's called Field of Flowers by Gabe Florsheim. Life is like a beautiful flower. Each day is unique as each petal of each. The stem ever lengthening in a strenuous effort to reach the nurturing rays of the sun. The roots ever deepening to draw life from the earth. The swaying fields ever entrancing to the watchful eyes of youth. Looking out over a field of wildflowers, each one an individual blossom, slowly opening, revealing to the world its true beauty, petal by petal, step by step, each flower resembling its species, but in truth, a rare individual. No two are exactly alike, right? Some have thorns or rough edges, others are spicy or sweet. How hard it is to choose just one to put a smile on your face, one whose individuality touches your heart and warms your soul. And may I add, which one will you choose? Thank you.
I can honestly say I'm pouring into a new avenue here of poetry reading. Honestly, I've never happened. So I decided to take a little twist on this. Growing up in the Pacific Northwest, yesterday was a very, very interesting day. It was the 44th anniversary of Mount St. Helens and how it really changed and how it kind of showed things as to what our Cascade Mountain Range can actually do if it wants to. My poem is kind of based on that. I was kind of inspired. My uncle's birthday was yesterday also, so another May 18th birthday. So I was on the Mount St. Helens Poetry and Post website, and I found one that I thought was very nice. So if you're imagining Mount St. Helens and the time after, this poem is called Everlasting Wilderness by Christine Colasurado. As pearly everlasting reappeared in the blast zone, so too did the mountain's other flowers. As I stood on the ridgetop, I noticed tangles of fireweed 5 feet high. Beyond them, rustling meadows of peak flower and paintbrush and false hellebore. Shrubbery willows and alders were emerging as green spheres on brown slopes. Huckleberry shrubs proffered tiny blue berries. Young noble and silver firs rose up in evergreen islands 15 feet high. Coyotes, who had survived after eruption on eating little else than insect carcasses, now had fragrant wild strawberries to feast upon. The trail we had taken to the ridge was littered with strawberry-studded coyote scat. And when coyotes howled around our camp at midnight, I rose from the tent to look at the stars. The lake's logs had disappeared west, disclosing its eastern arm, a huge flat path of sparkling obsidian. The second poem I'm going to read is called What If I Choose? Same website. It's by Kim Stafford. What if I choose, said Alder, to only do what I can do? What if I choose, said Penstemon, to only do what gives me joy? What do I do, said Coyote, to take in one quick bite, what gives me joy and what only I can do? A song that raises thunder in the human heart? What if, so schooled by water, stone, flower, and tree, I choose to be a human being? Then I would choose to do what I can only do. I would be chosen to only do what gives me joy.
Thank you all for those wonderful poems. Phoebe, oh my gosh, thank you both of you for those wonderful poems. I was like, why is it so fast? Phoebe, please come share. I'm so sorry. I'm one step ahead. I'll fix the microphone.
First of all, I'll tell you a quick story about this flower. I took it from my front porch where it had been sitting for 4 days, and a bunch of flowers in a vase, well, a can. And all the petals were flat out. So it was about 2 times, 3 times as big as this right now. And in the car driving over, the petals just started rising for lack of water, I guess. I'm sorry. It's a good sunflower. I was surprised to find in the hundreds of poems I've written, there was not a single one about flower. But I have some others. Beginning to know what matters. It was important last night to push open the window to the fading shadows of winter, the pale imprint of budding alder, the green scent of the slipping fog, to notice the symmetric shimmer of raindrops along the spread cedar branches, and to breathe deeply and long the tumultuous fragrance of the cold earth warming to spring. It was important as well that passing my fingers along the sill, I touched the the lips and eyelids reflecting on the glass with the glittering drops of water. And something like a blessing for my willingness to lean so fearless into February, its icy downpours and gales, and to find myself bedazzled again, again, again. For one moment in this day, focus on the fragrance of earth. Inhale the green, the gold of grasses, the comforting richness of humus, then the pungent bark of trees whose limbs are jeweled with finches and skittering squirrels. Rest your feet in this cold water, the slow and murky Willamette, meandering to the Columbia, sudden icy waterfalls, plunging, dizzying whirlpools, thrilling the forest air. Listen for the low humming of cows, the giggles of llamas and newborn goats. Hear the crunch of deer eating your grapes, the raccoons devouring your tomatoes. Understand that they were never yours. Sink barefoot into this welcoming soil, your toes finding shards of flowered teacups and small bottles along the riverbanks, blackened coins in the deep furrows of plowed fields. The skies here are wide and filled with every shade of blue, and clouds are huge and still. In this remarkably ordinary place, you have been given it all. Wonder moves towards you, around you. Be so still, the dotted fawn will nudge you and lick your forearm. Never mind all else you have heard about paradise. This is for you. It'll take me just, here it is, oh good. Birds. Birds and the shadows of birds, flashing in the cedars, spiraling to the top of the spruce 200 feet to the north. Massive limbs of oak ready to fall, shiver with robins, and the boring gray doves are all over. Hummingbirds in pairs jazz and click through the salvia. The one rose left, I count, 7 shades of pink with dark thorns. What could be missing in this day? I think I will know soon. That's it. Thank you.
Now you have a lot to visualize while we do our 3-minute meditation. I'll start it with the singing bell and I'll end it with the singing bell. So take a breath.